Welcome back to EPT. Today, we're diving into something that's essential for every day, making a to-do list. Whether you're a morning person or someone who struggles to get things done, a to-do list can be a game changer. But it's not just about writing down tasks. It's about setting yourself up for success.
Exactly. A to-do list is more than just a list of things you need to do. It's a tool. It can help you stay focused, organized, and even reduce stress. But let's be honest, making a to-do list isn't always as easy as it sounds, right?
Yeah, sometimes I sit down to make my list, and suddenly I feel like there's a million things to do, and none of them seem important enough to write down. That's when things get overwhelming. So let's start with the basics. How do you make a to-do list that actually works?
Good question. First things first, I think you need to start by deciding what your main priorities are. Not everything on your list has to be a huge task. Sometimes it's just the small things that need to get done. And that's okay. But having a few clear priorities, things you really need to finish by the end of the day, is key.
I agree. It's easy to just list everything, but if your list is a mile long, it becomes impossible to focus. So, I've started separating my to-dos into categories, like personal, work, errands. It helps me see where my energy needs to go, and not just lump everything together.
That's a great strategy. Breaking things down into categories makes it easier to see what you have to tackle first. I also love using deadlines. When I add a time frame for each task, I feel more motivated to get it done. If I don't put a deadline, it's like the task just floats around, never really getting completed.
Totally. Setting deadlines gives you a sense of urgency. And, honestly, I love crossing things off my list. There's something so satisfying about marking a task as complete. It keeps me going throughout the day.
Yes, that feeling of checking something off is like a mini reward. But I also think it's important to be realistic with your list. Don't put 20 things on your list if you know there's no way you'll finish them all in one day. That leads to frustration.
Absolutely. And if you're too ambitious with your list, you'll just end up feeling defeated by the end of the day. One thing I've started doing is picking the top 3 tasks that I really need to finish. That way, even if I don't get to everything, I've tackled the most important stuff.
Yeah, focusing on the top 3 tasks really helps you stay on track. It's all about setting yourself up for success. If you have too much to do, it can overwhelm you. So, break it down and focus on what really matters for that day.
And let's talk about the power of a brain dump. Sometimes my brain is just full of random thoughts and things I need to do. But I can't focus because everything's swimming around in my head. So, I do a quick brain dump. Write down everything that comes to mind. It clears the clutter.
That's such a good tip. I've heard that it can help reduce anxiety too. When everything's bouncing around in your head, it feels like a mental clutter. Writing it down can give you a sense of control and help you focus on one thing at a time.
Exactly. And when you do that, you can prioritize your list better. Once you've written everything down, you can look at what's most important, what's urgent, and what can wait. You don't need to tackle everything at once.
Right. And, a to-do list doesn't have to be rigid. Life happens, and sometimes things change. If something pops up during the day, it's okay to adjust your list. The key is flexibility. You can always add new tasks or shift things around as needed.
That's so true. I'm one of those people who loves the structure, but it's important to allow yourself that room for adjustments. And here's another thing. There's no need to wait for the perfect time to start your list. I used to think I needed a quiet moment or a certain frame of mind to do it. But now, I just do it whenever I have a free moment, even if it's between meetings or while I'm waiting for my coffee.
Oh yeah, I totally get that. If you wait for the perfect moment, it'll never come. Just jot things down when you can, even if it's just on a sticky note or in a notes app. The key is consistency. The more you do it, the easier it becomes.
For sure. And another thing that's been really helpful for me is making my list visually appealing. I'm a big fan of color coding, different colors for different types of tasks. It sounds silly, but it actually makes my list feel more fun and less like a chore.
I love that. I'm definitely going to try color coding. I think visual cues like that can really help make things clearer. Plus, if you enjoy the process of making your list, you're more likely to stick with it.
Exactly. A to-do list doesn't have to feel like a burden. If you can make it enjoyable, it becomes something you actually look forward to. And sometimes, just sitting down and writing out your day can help you focus on what's important, kind of like a mini meditation.
For sure. And here's a pro tip. Don't forget to leave room for breaks. I used to pack my to-do list with so many tasks that I'd feel like I had no time to relax. But now, I make sure I schedule a break after a few tasks. It helps me reset and keeps me energized throughout the day.
Yes, that's a game changer. I've started scheduling me time into my list. Even just a 10-minute walk or a few minutes of stretching helps me recharge. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't really tackle the tasks ahead.
Exactly. And another thing is, don't forget to celebrate the small wins. Even if it's something small like sending an email or finishing a report, take a moment to appreciate that you did it. It keeps you motivated for the next task.
Yes, celebrating the small things is so important. It can feel like a long, tiring day sometimes, but if you acknowledge those little victories, it helps you stay positive and motivated.
So, let's recap. When it comes to making your to-do list, the key is setting clear priorities, keeping it realistic, and being flexible. Break your tasks down, add deadlines, and don't forget to schedule some time for yourself. Most importantly, be kind to yourself. You're doing your best.
Absolutely. The to-do list is meant to help, not stress you out. It's about setting yourself up for success and making sure you stay on track. If you approach it with the right mindset, it can be one of the most powerful tools in your daily routine.
That's right. So, get started with that list, and remember, each step, no matter how small, is progress. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of EPT. We hope you found some useful tips to make your to-do list work for you.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget, every day is a new opportunity to be organized, focused, and productive. We'll see you next time.